Alright, here's the video review for the San Diego Comic-Con Snarl. Now, this is not the full 4 Dinobot set. I was lucky to find enough to find a guy named Nick who was willing to give me just Snarl. Who really is, like, he was my most excited figure from that SDCC set anyway. The arc looks cool, but I do not have a room for something like that to display the arc in my house. And I don't really want the whole set, because I keep thinking, like, now that I've played with him, I keep thinking, maybe I'll get the other ones to match. And I may still get the slog/sludge that Amazon has. I don't know how much effort I'm going to put into hunting down the Comic-Con set. Just because, like I've said in several of my videos, I'm not a big fan of Chrome. This guy clearly has a lot of it. I love this guy, but my love for this guy is because Snarl was my favorite Dinobot growing up. We haven't gotten a decent version of him in a while, although now we're getting several, because now, like, Toy World just announced their Dinobots, and those look awesome, and apparently they're going to combine. So, like, all these companies are putting out Dinobots. Even if I don't get all the Dinobots that are coming out, I will probably be getting as many of the Snarls as I can afford, because I like this. Like, Stegosaurus is my favorite dinosaur, so I have an attachment to Snarl. So I was able to get the SDCC Snarl, and I'm glad I did, because he's really pretty cool. And this is the first chance to get this mold. Now, I did get, I thought was on the way, the regular version of this guy, the green version. And apparently that was one of those, not a pre-order, but actually was a pre-order, because it hasn't even started to ship yet. So who even knows? But anyway, I got this guy, and he's cool. We'll go ahead and show him off. I'm rambling a little bit, and I'm aware of it. So anyway, to start him off, he's a cool little dinosaur. He's got limited posability in dinosaur mode. Basically, his front legs, his dinosaur head does move up and down to the neck. Has a little bit of posability back here at the neck, as well as right here at the head. And his jaw does open and close. And he's got the clear detailing. You know, he's basically in his G1 color scheme with the clear limbs and the clear head and the shiny gold, blades, I guess, the spine bits, the spiky tail. Pretty cool all in all. Transforming him is easy. You want to pop this middle set of blades off, flatten them up like that, and then you come back here and split his tail, move him at this hinge right here, and then this piece comes out. We'll set that off to the side for now. Now this piece comes out, and you don't have to stick it all the way in here, but it's supposed to. This comes out and this tabs onto the back of the leg right here. And then these come out and up. And then, just like the original Snarl, this set of spine bits comes up, revealing his head. And you can flip that up. And it takes a little bit of pressure to pop him out, but I like to pop him out all the way. And there's his heads up. And then down here, you just come, split this, bring the whole assembly down. You unpeg it, it pegs in up here under the chest, so unpeg it from the chest here. And then you bring them down like this. Extend the legs down. And then this waist piece, actually, you can see it's bent up like that for dinosaur mode. Bring it in, snap it into place back here. Sometimes it doesn't always hold when you're putting some pressure on the legs, but it does snap in back here. Bring this down, fold the dinosaur leg back and up as much as you feel like. You can position the dinosaur leg wherever you really want really. I'll flip his feet down. Now this side has this is kind of neat. This side has a fake dinosaur head for symmetry, and it's even got some gold paint on it to match this head over here. But this is just a fake dinosaur head. This dinosaur head you fold up into the leg to match this one over here. I think that's kind of funny. So he's got 2 dinosaur heads down here in robot mode, mostly just to make the legs look symmetrical, which I think is kind of a neat idea. And then the feet come down and around like this. And then the arms come down. Now, here's where there's a lot of contention with this guy. Because the way his arms are attached now, he's got hands here, and if you give him forward-facing elbows, those hands sit at a 90-degree angle like that. It's not natural at all. It's really weird looking. But if you just accept the fact that he's got gorilla arms just like all the other Dinobots, his hands are a lot like Strafe's. Because if you rotate his arm in like this, and then rotate his hand down, then you see he's got pretty normal arms. Not perfect, but it's just how it is. It's probably the biggest issue with this figure. I think there's a lot of other things that are really, really cool. But there's two issues that are still, even with my love for the character, and as much as I want to just gush uncontrollably about how great this guy is, there's two little things that keep me from doing that. One is the fact that, like, the arms aren't perfect. I think maybe if they'd hollowed this out and made this a ball joint, maybe you wouldn't have had that issue. Now I don't know what the structural integrity of that was. Since I think even the green version has a lot of clear plastic on it, maybe it just structurally wasn't possible. I don't know. I was not part of the design team, but that would have been nice. As it is, once you rotate his arms the proper way, they really don't look too bad. But there is that issue of giving him the gorilla arms. The other is you can leave this piece like this, just folded back behind his head, and if you do that, you don't run into my second issue. This piece, however, is intended. It is hinged. It is intended to be flipped out like this. And when you do that, you can kind of already see what's going on here. It does hinder his arms quite a bit, especially if you put them in front. Now, if you pull these around, get these behind, fold this down so it goes behind his arms, it's not quite. There is some clearance. Although again, on plain clear plastic like the actual toy is, probably not a big deal. On a chromed figure like this, you can see how those spines are going to keep knocking against each other and probably going to wear the chrome down. Like I said, it's not something I'm probably going to worry about on the retail version because these are going to be clear bits, and I don't think they're even painted, so you're not going to have anything to rub off. On a chrome figure like this, when I'm already not a huge fan of chrome, having those parts knocked together like that to have him properly transformed is a little annoying. Although there are degrees. These are not on ratchets or anything, so they're just pins. So you can leave those. You can give him as much clearance as you want, because I do think he looks a little better if you fold those pieces out. But it's entirely up to you. Now the instructions for this guy say to give him, this is one hand weapon, and then plug this into his fist to give him another bladed weapon, which is ridiculous. One, because like this by itself is probably not the worst idea. But to have him hold this, it's very loose. It doesn't stay in down here. He only holds it tightly up by this point, at which point that kind of loses the effectiveness of the weapon. And if you remember seeing all the promo shots, these actually combine into an axe. Now you can do it this way, plug it in from the top, and then give him an axe like that. The way I like to do it is to flip this over, and it even seems to be designed to do this, because if you flip it over like this and slide it in from the top, there's actually a little groove here in this little cylinder that it plugs into that lets this slide a little further up, and it gives him just a little bit more dynamic of an axe. It's a little bigger, and it gives him a little bit more clearance for him to hold it down here versus having this piece sit the way it does normally. So that's the way I like to do the axe, and I think that's the preferred way. That may even be supposed to be the official way, and the Comic-Con instructions just didn't show it. I've seen so many different pictures of this guy, so many different ways that who even knows. But this is the way I like to do it. And then you can have him hold it in his hand down here. And so you see that gives him just enough clearance for his hand, and then it looks like a much more dynamic and further reaching axe than if he just held the blade by itself, or tried to hold this club as a club. It's ridiculous. But yeah, there he is. And like I said, aside from the couple of nitpicks I mentioned, I really do like him. He's very evocative of his G1 self in these colors, and more than some of the other Dinobots, he's got a lot of his G1 look with the tail wings, and then the spines behind him, and then the spines down on his legs. Like his transformation almost mirrors his G1 self, just in a movie aesthetic. Aside from the gorilla arms, which hey, it's still more posable than the G1 was. And like I said, he's got a neat mask here. Now this kind of gives him like a visor, and it's kind of a shame because it's hard to tell, but it's supposed to look like a helmet. And if you look, he actually does have sculpted individual eyes up where he should have eyes. It's supposed to be him looking through a slit in a helmet, and they painted it all red so it looks like he's just got a visor eye. But he actually does have two individual eyes up in there, supposed to be looking out of like a helmet slit, like the rest of the Dinobots in their night helmets. Just quick size comparison here with Evasion Mode Prime, just to give you an idea of how big he is. And he's about standard Deluxus. He's got a little bit bigger silhouette just due to the backpack and the tail and everything. But height-wise, he's about the same size as the other Dinobots. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the movie color version, the green version, to match the figures I already have, since I don't think I'm getting the whole team in these chromey Comic-Con colors. But all in all, the mold itself is really neat. Again, arms and the clearance issues back here on the back are really my only real nitpicks with it. He's got some neat posability, a neat transformation. He's got the best alt mode of all the dinosaurs, but again, that's my personal opinion. But yeah, Snarl's definitely one to pick up. Like I said, if you're completing the Dinobots, I wish he wasn't last. It seems like everybody's doing Snarl last, which is why it looks like I'm so happy it looks like Toy World's doing theirs first. But all pretty solid. It's no worse than any of the other Dinobot designs, and like I said, it's my personal favorite just because of the character and the alt mode. But there it is, Comic-Con Snarl.